It doesn't happen when you're distant. It doesn't happen when you're unsure. It happens the moment something inside you finally relaxes, the moment you stop questioning it, the moment you think, okay, this is real. That's when it starts. Not loudly, not all at once. Just a shift, subtle enough to ignore, clear enough to feel. Because in the beginning, you didn't need anything from them. You weren't watching your phone, you weren't waiting for replies, you weren't building your day around their presence. You were just there. And somehow that version of you felt easy to be, around, light, unattached, unpredictable, in a way that made them lean in. They moved toward you, they initiated, they stayed curious, they paid attention without being asked, and you didn't even think about why. Because it felt natural, effortless, like something that didn't need to be managed. But then something inside you changed, not because they asked you to, because you felt something a little deeper than before. You started noticing them differently. You remembered small things they said. You cared about how they felt. You started including them in your thoughts, and without realizing it, you crossed a line no one talks about. You stopped experiencing them and started needing them. It's a quiet shift, almost invisible, but it changes everything. Because the moment you start needing someone, you start adjusting yourself around them. You reply faster. You think before you speak. You hold back parts of yourself to keep things smooth. You become more careful, more available, more predictable, and that predictability feels safe to you. But to them, it feels different, not wrong, just different. Because something that once felt open now feels decided. Something that once felt light now feels defined. And definition removes a certain kind of tension, the kind that makes people wonder, the kind that makes them lean in, the kind that keeps them slightly unsure of where they stand. When that disappears, curiosity has nothing to hold on to. And curiosity is what keeps people emotionally invested long before commitment ever begins. So they don't leave. Not at first. They just slow down. Their replies stretch out, their tone shifts. Their presence becomes inconsistent in a way you can't explain, and you feel it immediately, that quiet drop in energy. That space where something used to exist, and your instinct isn't to step back, it's to move closer, to understand, to bring things back. So you try harder, you give more attention, more reassurance, more emotional clarity. Because in your mind, connection grows with effort, but in emotional dynamics, effort doesn't always create closeness. Sometimes it replaces tension with pressure, and pressure doesn't feel like love, it feels like expectation, like something that needs to be maintained, like something that could break if handled wrong. And once that feeling enters the dynamic, something inside them starts pulling away, not because they decided to, because they felt something shift, something heavier, something less free. And that's when confusion takes over, because from your perspective, you're doing everything right, you're being honest, you're being present, you're being real. But the more real you become, the less they move toward you. And now you're stuck in something that doesn't make sense. You think about what changed. You replay conversations, you analyze silence, you search for a moment that explains everything. But there isn't. And it wasn't a moment, it was a gradual shift. The moment you stopped holding back, you removed the space they were moving into. And that space was part of the connection. That's the uncomfortable part, the part that doesn't feel fair, that the version of you that cared less felt more magnetic, not because it was better, but because it allowed movement, because it left room, because it didn't ask for anything. And once you start asking, even silently, something changes, because now there's something to meet, something to respond to, something to either move toward or away from. And not everyone moves toward that. Some people step back slowly, quietly, without explanation. And that's where you find yourself now. Not rejected, not chosen, just somewhere in between, trying to understand something that was never said. And maybe the hardest part isn't that they pulled away, it's that they did it right when you started feeling something real. Right when you let yourself believe in, right when you stopped protecting yourself, and now you're left with a feeling that doesn't have a clear ending, no final conversation, no real closure, just a quiet distance. That keeps growing, and a question that keeps returning. What changed? But maybe the better question is, what shifted inside you the moment you stopped holding back? Because whatever that was, they felt it too, and instead of moving closer, they moved just far enough away for you to feel it.